It's a statistics question, actually, but there's nothing really statistics we need to do about it. All right, so we read through it there. We're given a survey, right? Everyone good? We're giving a survey out. But here's the thing, and here's the key to the whole problem. We're only giving it out in one place, and that's the Staten Island Ferry Terminal, right? It's the only place we gave this survey out. So anything off that survey, I can only say about that Staten Island terminal. I can't say it about anything else. Whatever the results are from the survey only apply to the Staten Island Ferry Terminal. So if I read number 1, can I say most of the customers in New York State care about being served quickly? No. Where did I give the darn survey? Not to New York State terminal, all the terminals in New York State, only to Staten Island Ferry. So that can't be said true. I can only say something true from the Staten Island Ferry Terminal. So if I go through the choices right now, read through the choices, which one only pertains to the Staten Island Ferry Terminal? And that's going to be choice 3. Can't say coffee drinkers. That's every coffee drinker we're talking about. And I can't say most of the customers at transportation terminals because I'm only at one of them. Are we good on why I'm picking that for number 1? I only gave the survey to the Staten Island terminal, not anybody else. So we all good? All right, tries to throw you off your game a little bit. All right, let's go to 2. And if any time, stop me. All right, no question's a dumb one here. Trust me. If you ask it, probably 2 other people thought it. Oh, little I, huh? Back in the day. What's equivalent to x minus 2i all squared? Good news. You don't need to know a darn thing about I. This is how I'm going to get you to pass the Regents, especially multiple choice. Which one is equivalent? So which one is the same as the original? Here's how I'm going to have you do these equivalent problems. Take a number right now and store it in for x. Any number except, I don't like 0 and 1. Any number. So my number is going to be 7. I'm going to say x equals 7. You can pick your own number if you want. Just never do 0 or 1. And now I'm going to go to my calculator and say, all right, my number was 7. So I hit 7 first. And we've been here before, but just to review, I got a store button here. Store that into, in this case, my variable is what? X. Store it in for x. Okay. Remember the question asked which one is equivalent to x minus 2i squared. Well, I got to figure out what this equals right now. So that's what I'm going to plug into my calculator. I'm going to go x minus 2. Well, you didn't store, we don't need to store anything for I. No, I is a number. Anybody know where it is on your calculator? So I can plug I in. Like the actual I, not the letter I. Dylan?
Like above the period.
Right, everyone look, right above the period. All right, so second period, it'll plug it in. Closed, and then what do I have to do to it? Square it. It's going to give me an answer. 45 minus 28i, or maybe if you stored a different number than 7, it'll give you an answer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the multiple choices and find out which one's equal to 45 minus 28i. That's it. That's all I have to do. Which one is equivalent, equal to it? So I'm going to go through the next one and write x squared plus 4. X squared plus 4. Nope. I'm looking for which one gives me 45 minus 28i. So go ahead. Let's go. Go through each of them yourself and see which one gives you the correct value. This is what's going to get you to pass, guys. I know it's not really mathematical, but this is what's going to get us there. Anytime I'm looking for which one's equivalent, Go. We need a calculator here every day.
The calculator is at my home.
All right. Well, it's there right now. So let's go. If you're in here with me, all over it. Guys, got to start bringing them to class. All right, I'm going to get moving here. What do we get? Which one was equivalent to the original? 4. There you go. Just had to store a number in. Okay, let me also mention something else. Dylan told me where to find I. You can't do this in 3 weeks. How do I get to this on my calculator? I'll just go over and go, good luck to you, young buck, and I'll just keep walking. All right? I cannot help you find things on the calculator the day of the exam. Okay? But it's going to get you to pass the exam. So we better know this thing in and out. All right? This will get you the pass. I cannot answer where anything is the day of the exam. All right? We all good? Equivalent. You're going to see that more and more on the multiple choice. All you got to do is store in a number. Here's the other thing. As much as I love this method, there is a drawback. I know the answer was choice 4 is the last one we got to, but let's say the answer was choice 1. You guys do need to check the others just to make sure it's not there, because what will happen is these guys or ladies who make up the exam are getting smarter. They know we teach this method. So what happens sometimes is, say you pick 2, x equals 2, and you got an answer, and you're looking for which one matches it. There might be 2 that match it. So what do I do then? Pick a new number. Okay, so please go through each one, just not the first one you hit. Go through each one to make sure your answer is actually the one you need. If you have 2 that match, pick a new number. Okay, pick a new number. Questions? All right, let's keep rolling. 3. Oh, this one's going to drive me nuts because I taught you it or tried to. Oh, a little sine curve, huh? Using this function, let's not yell out anything. The amplitude. The amplitude. You know what, to me, this is? Here's 2 points. You're welcome. A free 2 points if we know what the heck's going on. Amplitude. Where is the amplitude located? Even if you forget. Oh, let me go to my formula sheet. Maybe he put something on there for me. Oh, he did. Number 7. All right, what all these values mean that are plugged in and where you can find the amplitude pretty darn quickly. All right, so that's why you guys need to get in the habit of going back and forth. I'm sure, and you know what? I'm just having you go here because it's quick. I'm sure it's in the other packet too of the cold hard facts. So I go back. Pretty easy question, huh? What's the amplitude? Amplitude?
2.
Choice 2, 4.8. It's like 2 free points, literally. Knowing where the amplitude is. It's the A value right out in front. Okay? Anything? Hopefully we're waking up here and saying, oh boy, he's right. That 28 is going to be hard to hit. And it might not even be 28. Okay, go ahead, read through 4. We had a little issue with this on our stats test, which I'll get back eventually. All right, well, he's definitely not doing a survey, right? Liam's not doing a survey, so that can get out there. Here's what we had the issue with on the test is the difference between these two, experimental and observational, right? Experimental is very easy. You as who is ever doing the testing separates into 2 groups. One group gets the treatment, one group doesn't get the treatment, aka the placebo. Are we doing that here? Are we separating into 2 groups? No, we're not. That's experimental. All right. It seemed like on the test you guys just wanted to circle experimental all the time. That's not experimental. Experimental is separating them into 2 groups, which I'm not doing here. Instead, what am I doing? Watching auditions. Watch each singer and rate them. I'm just sitting there watching, collecting my own data. That's observational. where I'm just watching to see what happens or collecting my own data. I am not separating them into groups. That's experimental. We all good on the difference? We all, yes, no, we good?
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you. We just did 4 problems and you have done 0 math yet. Other than typing numbers in your calc. You haven't done any math yet and you already have 8 points. That's why knowing your calculator is pretty handy, and knowing stuff like number 3, basics, knowing where the amplitude is. Now we do have to do some math. Ooh, last period hurt me, because I taught this, hurt me. All right, so here's point A, negative radical 3 over 2, 1/2. I want to know what's that angle right there. How many multiple choices are there?
4.
4. Sometimes if you get desperate and you're like, wow, and it's going to happen. I don't know. I don't care how good you are in this class. It's going to happen where you're like, I have no idea. Can you eliminate an answer maybe? Come on now. Look at this problem. There's definitely one of the choices I can eliminate based on where that angle is. What am I getting rid of? 30 degrees, because I'm in quad 2. No way that can be 30. Why circle it? I know it's wrong. All right, so now now I'm really, all the other angles are in quadrant 2, right? So how do I figure out which one of the 3 it's going to be? Does this point look familiar at all? Radical 3 over 2, 1/2. Remember, we had 3 big points on the unit circle, didn't we? We had what degree measures had big points? 30, 45, and 60. Those are my 3 big ones, and those are the 3 big ones on the Regents. They're not going to put new ones in. Now, if you don't, it's fine. That's why we review. Anybody remember where radical 3 over 2, 1/2 related to? Was it 30 or was it 60? I know it's definitely not. Why am I crossing out 45 right away? Remember, that was the same coordinate, radical 2 over 2? All right, radical 3 over 2, 1/2. Did it belong to 30 or 60? It belonged to 30. Yeah, it belonged to 30. But 30 in the second quadrant, right? That's what I'm not picking 30 because that's not my angle in the second quadrant. What is 30 in the second quadrant? That's what this problem is. What is 30 in the second quadrant? And remember, this is 180 here. Remember, that was 180.
150.
So it's going to be, Aaron?
150.
150. Okay, 150. Again, what was the key to that problem? Recognizing radical 3 over 2, 1/2 was with 30 and putting it in the second quadrant. It's tougher, a little more math. Jerry, go ahead, what's up?
1/2, comma, negative 3 over 2 would be.
Well, I'm not even doing the negative part. The negative just tells me I'm in quadrant 2. I'm just doing radical 3. I see radical 3 over 2 is my x, 1/2 is my y, so I know that's the 30. Flip it, you get the 60. Okay? And then 45 was radical 2 over 2. Good talk. Any others? Questions, comments, concerns? All right. Here we go. 6. 2x to the third plus x squared minus 18x minus 9. Which statement is true? Woo! You guys believe in me now? 28 is not going to be as easy as it sounds. All right. I read through the choices because I don't think I can eliminate it. I'm not confident on eliminating anything. That 1 is definitely not going to be it. But I start seeing some words here. 2x minus 1 is a factor. X minus 3 is a factor. Can you do anything with this? Nick? Factor it. Well, don't get that too far ahead of me here, but factor it. Yeah. Which one's a factor? Let's try to factor this. I know Nick already mentioned it, but I always look for what first? What do I always preached?
GCF.
GCF. Anything?
No.
Any GCF I can take out? No. But 4 terms, no GCF. Automatic what, Nick? Yep, darn right. First 2, last 2. Okay, let's go over the steps of grouping. Now take out a GCF of the first one. What are we taking out here? An x squared, good. What's left? A 2x plus, be careful. 1, got to be left with that 1. Remember, with factoring, both parentheses should have the same thing in it. So you better tell me to take out a GCF of this next one that will result in 2x plus 1 being left in the parenthesis. What can I take out of the next one? So a 2x plus 1 is left. Positive or negative? Because if you just take out positive, I'm going to have opposite signs, which I don't want. Yep. And what am I left with? 2x. Keep grouping. You're not done yet. We got to. What's the same on both sides here? 2x plus 1. And what's left over? Tough exam. Bless you. Tough exam. That ain't going to cut it. Tough exam. Keep going. It is going to test every inch that you have up in your brain. Every inch. Why do I say keep going? Jake?
X squared minus 9 can go into x plus 3 and x minus 3.
Yep. Get ready for it. That's not going to be good enough. And if you don't do that, you're not going to see one of the multiple choices is actually true, which is x minus 3 is an actual factor. You want to ask anything about this one or the rest of the multiple choices? Ask away here. Hey, at any time, what's it mean by that? What's it mean by that? What's this? Ask. We're all good. Whew. There's must-haves here. If we're going to pass, this is a must-have. This is a must-have problem if we're going to pass. Why do I say it's must-have? I'm not teaching you a darn thing on this one. What am I going to teach you or tell you to go? Go your count. You got graphs here. Which one matches it? Let's graph it. The only thing you might run into trouble with is something you can't ask me day of, but you can right now. Which is, where do I get that? Because I got to put 100 at the bottom of the log, the subscript. And if I use this here, this log here, I'm not able to do that. All right, so first thing, make sure you're using the negative sign, not your subtraction sign. That's your calculator will give you an error. Anybody know where to go? Because I can't use this log button because I can't put 100 as the subscript. Anybody know where to get the log?
Right there.
Good thing we're reviewing. Alpha window. Alpha window. That's where you get most of your stuff. Okay, just remember that. Alpha window. If you can't find something, you get most of your stuff there. So I want choice 5. And now see how you can put the 100 in there. Okay? 100 x minus 2. And then graph. Doesn't look fancy. You don't see all of it either. I'm just trying out something. You guys can take a look. You can answer it without having to see any more of it. Okay, so zoom. Let me get back to my original. There it is. All right, so now you take a look, and I get it. Some of you may think could be 4 versus 1, right? All right, some of I chose 4 right away because I saw it was pretty close to the x-axis, and this graph's a lot closer to the x-axis than this one. All right, if you ever want to see more of the graph or just the graph itself, here's a little calculator trick. All right, if everyone goes to Zoom right now, hit your Zoom button. And it's not listed here because you got to scroll down because there's more options below. If you'd rather get a good picture of your graph, you can go to 0, which is zoom fit, and your calculator will fit right over that graph, and you can get a little better picture and be more confident. What's up, Jared?
Now I did like the store for 7 thing for like the problem, like a few problems back. Now how do you like?
Okay, great question. Because you are plugging in X again, right?
Yeah.
It does not affect it when you use your graphing function of your calculator.
Well,
It will
then
not store in 7.
But I didn't get the right graph though.
What are you getting? I just went to zoom fit, showed everybody a trick. Do you see this? Standard. Do you see just that?
Then never mind. It did that.
Yeah, that's fine.
what I see.
That's what we're getting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, when you store a number and it does not affect your graphic. Okay. So everybody good? Choice 4. Another free 2 points. If you want to see more of the graph, you go to zoom 0, zoom fit. Questions, comments? Okay, let's keep moving because we do have some math here to go. Just want to check my 1044, 1051. Yeah. All right. Which equation has those imaginary roots? And I don't want to solve each equation to see which one has those. I always open it up to you guys if anybody wants to show off knowledge from last year, because this is a last year topic. How do I go from the roots to the equation? So those are the answers. Aaron, go ahead.
Would you put them side by side in parentheses and then do the?
That's part of it. Yes, that's part of it. You got about half of it right. When you have imaginary roots and you're trying to go back to the equation, this may be a little, maybe some of you guys remember this. You do 2 things. Aaron just said put them side by side and multiply. That's what's going to find the product of the roots. So you find the product. What are they when I multiply? And then you also have to do, anybody remember the product and the sum of the roots, which is add them together. That'll give you what the equation's going to be. So I'm given the roots and I need to know the equation. I do the sum and the product. So sum, add them together. Go ahead, add those 2 together. I think the i's cancel out and we just get what?
6.
See how we're getting that? 3 plus 3 can combine. The i's cancel each other out when I add. We're okay. Product. Now I have to multiply them. 3 plus I. 3 minus I. Okay, do them with me. I'll help you out. 3 times 3.
9.
Here we go. 3 times negative I.
Minus 3.
I times 3. Here's, okay, ready. I times negative I. Negative I squared. I'll get back to that in a second. What happens in the middle? See ya. They cancel. Minus I squared.
I squared, which is 1.
Negative 1.
I don't know which one is it. 1, negative 1, I squared. Ready? Which one is it? I'm sitting home by myself or with my study group. What was I squared? Was it 1? Was it negative 1? I don't know. Let's go to my formula sheet here. And let's take a peek at number 9, powers of I. And if you look, I squared, 1 or negative 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. So 9 minus negative 1, 10. Amanda.
So I just put it in the calculator.
That's the other way I was about to talk about. You could also, if you're unsure, plug it in your calculator because it'll do any I thing you need in the calc. Absolutely. Good. Everyone all right? So how do I use these 2 answers to get my equation? Ready? First one's always going to be x squared. Your b value is the opposite of the sum. The B value, the opposite of the sum you got. So I got a sum of 6. What's going to be my B value? Negative 6x. Always the opposite. The C value is the product. Done.
10.
Plus 10. That's how I get the roots, going from the roots to the equation. The B value is the opposite of the sum. The C value is the product. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. We good? Okay. I am not going to have enough time to do the next one. So here's what I'm going to do. Every day, I'm going to give you some suggested problems to do. All right? You got to do more than in class. I've discussed this already with you. You are not going to get to 28 points and pass with just coming to class and hanging out and copying down what I throw up on the board. You got to do some stuff on your own. So here's, and I don't throw a lot at you every night. I don't. 6 multiple choice to try out tonight. 6. Where can you get all the answers? Aspen. Look under August 2020. Try them out now here. I'm using every single second I have the next 3 weeks. All right, so whether it's in your group, by yourself, go to number 13, 15, 17, see if you can remember some stuff. Look at, if you got to look up the work on the answer key on Aspen, look it up. That's fine. Come back tomorrow and say, hey, can you explain to me how you did this problem? I'd be more than happy to. So those are the 6 I'm suggesting you try out tonight. And the first one right away, number 13, equivalent. Store. I would need you guys to practice that on your own. There's actually I think I assigned a bunch of equivalent problems tonight, so you guys get practice in storing it out. So try it. I think they almost all are. Go ahead, Adam. No. Well, you're going to have to store A and a B value. Okay? What you make those is up to you. A equals this number, B equals this number, that's all use 0 or 1. Plug this in as it is. See what answer you get, jot it down, and then go through each of these and see which one matches. Okay? Cube root button is second window. Go ahead, Bill. See how you got to they all go in alphabetical order. So say you want to do 6. Store it in 4. Okay. There you go. And when you use this, you type same A again as you type all this. Okay?
This doesn't matter. This number not the same. So it's one A.
I prefer them to be different. Yes. And not 0 and 1.
See you, thank you. I'll be enjoying 6 problems.